I thought about an old saying that is meant to be the definition of insanity, and it's attributed to lots of people. And it says that if you keep doing the same thing and expect different results, then that's the definition of insanity. When I think about game changers, I actually kind of flip that over. And I think about the idea of recognizing that doing the same thing is likely to lead to the same results. So let's make some clear, conscious choices about trying some different things and some new ways to achieve outcomes that are important to us. And I kind of like to think about it in that frame as game changers that I have seen and observed and admired always seem to try to do things in different ways. I'm an engineer by background, and I've worked in the energy industry for a long time. But something I've observed over many years with people that I've worked with and people that I've watched and admired is what really seems to matter isn't the pure intellect or even sometimes the creativity. It's the ability to connect those great ideas and those principles to people that actually turn it into action and cause things to go. I think I got inspired to move into an external affairs space in my company, in my industry, because I know there's a lot of great things that happen. I know there's a lot of great ideas, some extraordinary technology, and what we really need to do a very good job of is finding ways to connect it to our customers and to communities and to governments in a way that's compelling and actually creates an appreciation of how important the energy sector is to economic growth and to jobs and to all of us every time we walk in a room and we want to turn on a light. I've tried a lot of things in 22 years in my company and my industry. I've worked in engineering, I've worked in environmental roles, I've done a lot of strategy, a lot of external affairs and investor relations. I even worked in HR for a few years, and I think what I've discovered over this time is what really makes people impactful is when they align their skills and their experience with their passion. I think they have to go after the things that really matter a lot to them, and they do it even if they weren't being paid. They would do it in their spare time, they do it in the nights and weekends, and what I've discovered for myself is to be in the space that I'm in now is the kind of thing that I would do if I didn't work for this company, if I wasn't in this industry, and I'd do it even if I wasn't being paid. And I think that it creates the possibility to make a real difference. I'd encourage people who want to make a difference to make sure they understand themselves and make sure they understand what really gets them excited, what incites that passion, and then go after those things. Some of the most important rules in life are the things we learned when we were really little. The golden rule, do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. I actually try pretty hard to be thoughtful and considerate and to treat people the way I'd like them to treat me. I try to be honest. Sometimes that honesty isn't always as nice as I'd like it to be, and so there's a connection you have to make. But I think it matters a lot more if you are honest and clear and then don't have to try to remember what you said or didn't say as you try to manage through issues. I've tried to instill in my kids, and I think I try to drive for myself a real genuine commitment to being the best that I can be. Excellence is a habit. It's not what you do for this semester or this test or this project. It's the way that you think about the things that you do, the work that you do, and those things. I try to have those ideas guide me in the things that I do in my work and in my life. I'm surrounded by extraordinary women. My wife and I have 4 daughters, so I don't get many votes. I'm not in charge of very much. I try pretty hard to do what I'm told. But I say that because a game changer that I admire in a way that might be different than what you might expect is my wife. My wife and I met in college, and she has 2 degrees. She's thought very differently, though, about the way that she wants to manage the life that we share and the role that she holds. She's had some jobs, and she's got some extraordinary skills, But she invests an awful lot of time and energy into things that relate to our children's education. And at the moment, she doesn't have a full-time job, doesn't work outside the home. But I described a definition about doing something differently. And I think when my wife and I were married and we started to have children, she made a conscious choice about doing something differently than she might have in service of achieving an extraordinary outcome. And as I've watched her do that, and the sacrifices and the compromises and the hard choices that have been part of the way she's managed her life and her career, I have deep admiration for the way that she's done that. I think the greatest accomplishment that I'll carry with me is an ability to combine and balance my ambition and my aspirations in my professional life with my responsibility and my commitment to be a husband and a father, and a mentor and a coach. As much as I want to cause things to happen and to have an impact, I also want to be sure that that impact is felt at home and felt in powerful and constructive ways that shape the way that my kids think about their future and their opportunities. And it's not easy to do. I could easily work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and there'd still be more work to do. And in service of what my company would like, I could easily do things that would take me away from home even more than I am now. And to find just the right balance in pursuing those things that matter a lot in the development and pursuit of my own career with fulfilling some really important responsibilities, to me will be the thing that matters most. And I don't mean to say that I've got that down. I'm sure if you asked a few other people, they'd give you some other thoughts about that. But that's what I keep working towards. That's my aim. I think it's an urgent priority for our country that we give real thought to comprehensive energy policy. The growth in energy demand around the world over the next 20 years is almost mind-boggling. Our own estimates from the BP Energy Outlook are that there will be a demand growth of about 40% of energy around the world by 2030. And that's the equivalent of adding another U.S. and another China to the overall global energy demand over the space of just 20 years. We have to have some real thoughtful debate in the United States. I believe an all-of-the-above solution is essential. We really do need to ensure that we've got real commitment to the long-term development of alternatives and renewables, but we have to recognize that alternatives and renewables by themselves won't make up all the difference. We've got to do safe, responsible exploration of oil and natural gas. We've got to find ways to make gas a bigger part of the energy value chain in the U.S., especially given the extraordinary growth that we've seen in natural gas reserves over the last decade. We've got a 100-year supply of natural gas, and that presents opportunities to do some really powerful things to secure energy for the United States and to secure our opportunity to meet long-term demand for ourselves and for our economy. The jobs associated with the energy industry are an enormous opportunity. Already more than 9.2 million people work in the energy industry. And at the moment, the debate seems to be in too many different pieces. My encouragement is to really push for a comprehensive energy policy that would meet the long-term needs for the United States.